The 2K comic is a great analogy for beginners who pursue creative work. The premise is that even though the cake you made is less impressive, the audience that likes cake is still going to appreciate what you made. All you need to do is replace cake with your creative medium of choice and it makes sense.
I and many people like this comic because it's an argument against perfectionism.
If you only focus on being the best and you're not at that top level, you may overlook an opportunity where good enough is all that's needed to be appreciated by an audience. But there is an issue with the comic being overused in situations where there are clearly more than two cakes. If all you're competing against is a single great product, then you are in an amazing situation. Being number 2 in a market that is hungry for what you're selling is an opportunity of a lifetime. In the creative space, it is extremely rare nowadays to find yourself in a seller's market. And by a seller's market, I mean that the demand for a type of product cannot meet the ability to supply the product. Let's take an example of the earlier internet days of gaming YouTube. Back in 2007, if you made marginally edited videos for World of Warcraft, you got an audience. You compare this with today and you have a guy that makes multiple high effort videos only to have 1,000 subscribers. Saturation is a real thing that needs to be considered. You are in all reality not competing against two cakes. If you are competing against 10 cakes, then there's a very high chance that there is an appetite for your work even if it's smack dead in the middle quality-wise. If you're competing against 100 cakes, then maybe you'll still get some attention if you're number 50 and it's a growing market. But if you have 1,000 cakes to compete against, then being number 500 means that you're not getting any attention. A game dev example would be the Survivors-like genre. At the beginning, when Vampire Survivors started to blow up, there was a lot of appetite for anything vaguely similar to Vampire Survivors. Gamers were ready to throw their attention towards anything like it, and you could get some real money by making a moderately decent version of that game. But as time progressed, the market got flooded. The moderately decent game that would have sold well in early 2022 would now be completely ignored in mid-2024. It went from a seller's market to a buyer's market very quickly. If you have never made a game before, or if motivation is your primary limiting factor, then none of this should matter. Take it from the guy who had to drop 2 large 3D projects before releasing a free platformer as his first real game. Feeling motivated to make game trumps any other consideration you should have. But if you have released a game and motivation isn't a big issue, you need to be more tactical about the type of genres you think you can compete in. You don't need to be number 1 or number 2 in most genres, but you have to be better than number 500 to succeed. The 2 Cakes comics most likely just doesn't apply to your situation. Participation does not guarantee attention.
I hope you're not too discouraged from this video. Game dev is still a great hobby, but optimism is fragile unless tempered. See you in the next one.